Hi, Dr. Reagan Robertson, CCO of Productive Dentist Academy here, and I have a question for you. Are you finding it hard to get your team aligned to your vision, but you know you deserve growth just like everybody else? That's why we've created the PDA Productivity Workshop. For nearly 20 years, PDA workshops have helped dentists just like you align their teams, get control of scheduling, and create productive practices that they love walking into every day. Just imagine how you will feel when you know your schedule is productive, your systems are humming, and your team is aligned to your vision. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. We can help. Visit productivedentist.com/workshop. That's productivedentist.com/workshop to secure your seats now.
And if you're going to work in my practice on, I'm going to say, our patients, I want to make sure that you're doing things at the highest level you can possibly do it at. And I'm here to help you.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Bruce B. Baird, and you're listening to the Productive Dentist Podcast. In this podcast, I will give you everything that I've learned over the last 40 years in dentistry, working with thousands of dentists. I'll tell you, it's not that my way is the only way. It's just one that has worked extremely well for me, and I'd love to share that with you so you too can enjoy the choices and lifestyle that productivity allows. More time for things you love, increased pay, better team relationships, and lowered stress. Let's get into it with this week's episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.
Hi, my name's Dr. Bruce Baird with the Productive Dentist Podcast. Welcome. Today, I wanted to talk a bit about associates and what is the ideal way to bring an associate into your practice and to keep an eye on them, be a mentor, and help them become the best dentist they can be. I'm always listening online or watching or looking at the threads, and everybody is always talking about their associate was doing X, Y, or Z. They weren't they weren't doing their root canals properly. They weren't, their crown preps had problems. And what's important to understand is, when you're bringing an associate into your business, it's extremely important. This is not about production. It's about taking phenomenal care of our patients. And that needs to be communicated, day one when you're bringing an associate in. Not, and a lot of dentists, and I've been guilty of this in the past, is you just bring a dentist in, kind of like bringing in a dental assistant or a front desk. And, oh, well, you're a front desk. Well, just go have fun, do your job. And that's really not fair to anybody. It's not fair to your chairside assistants. It's not fair to your front desk. And it's certainly not fair when you're bringing an associate into your world, because it is your world. And so from my perspective, the first thing that I've done with my associates is, just like I'm talking about doing an exam on a patient, I want to find out about the associate. I want to find out about the doctor. I want to find out about his family, where he comes from, what are his goals, what are his thoughts. And from the get-go, I want him or her to understand that I'm here as a sounding board for you. I'm here as a fellow professional, and it's my responsibility to mentor you. And my goal is to help you become the best dentist you can be. That's very different than, this is what you're going to get paid, 30%, 40%, whatever it is, and just going down the line. It's not really about that. If you can help your associate, and what do? Do we go in and look over their shoulder while they're prepping teeth? Maybe, just say, hey, I want to observe. I'm really excited having you here in the office. I'm not looking over your shoulder so I can make corrections to every single thing you do. That's not why I'm here. But in building a relationship, and remember, a relationship's an agreed upon course of action between two parties. And if you're going to work in my practice on, I'm going to say, our patients, I want to make sure that you're doing things at the highest level you can possibly do it at. And I'm here to help you. Now, if you're bringing in an associate that, let's say, has been practicing dentistry for 25 years, it really doesn't change. I mean, I've seen dentists that have been out 25 years doing things that I probably wouldn't do. And I've seen young dentists come in and become massively productive right off the bat doing amazing dentistry. Remember, this is your practice and your business. And so when I bring an associate in, I want to be able to spend time. Again, when I ask a patient, how long have you lived here? Or, where'd you grow up? All of the things that I'm trying to link with this associate, with this doctor. And it's super important. I mean, a good friend of mine told me years ago, you really want to find associates who've been beaten up before, so that when they come to your practice, they think, oh my gosh, this is so much better. And yeah, that's true. I mean, there's no question it's true, but I think from a preference standpoint, if I had an associate come in that really wanted to learn, I mean, really from the get-go, gosh, I really want to learn the things you're doing. I want to, and they have a great attitude. They have great bedside manner, if you will, or bed chair manner. They're a good communicator. I can teach them, I can teach them dentistry and how to do it. I'm not going to say more efficiently, although I'm going to teach them how to schedule properly. I'm going to teach them what to look for. I'm going to teach them these are the trackers that you want to know, because it's going to help you in the long run. It's going to keep you excited about dentistry. And I always feel like my goal is, when I have another doctor, and I've always worked with other docs, it is, I want to have fun and I want to take great care of our patients. And I want somebody that feels the same way. So I've gotten rid of associates that just sat back in the office, didn't do anything, never took any CE. I should have found out those things before I hired him. He would rather read a book in the doctor's office than to actually go do dentistry. And I think those are things that it's okay to be the mentor to an associate, because this is your job. This is your practice. These are your patients that are coming in. And ideally, you're wanting to grow your business. And that new associate, I like associates to live in the town where the practice is. I don't make a requirement on religious gatherings or anything, but man, I love it when they go to church in town. They get to meet people. I like guys who like to play golf, guys and gals who like to play golf and meet people there. I like people who really want to get involved in the community. I'm not looking for just somebody who knows how to drill on a tooth. I hope that makes sense, because it goes way beyond that. The biggest problems that I've seen with having an associate in the practice is there are some doctors that have amazing egos. They are like, I'm a doctor. I know how to do this, and I don't need your help. Well, then I don't need you in my office, because what I'm doing is I'm sharing my 30 years, 40 years of experience, or 10 years. If you've been only practicing 10 years, you've learned a lot in 10 years. Whereas that person either coming right out of school or that's been burned by some associate position previously, they have a lot to learn. And they have, first always comes communication with patients. And then what will I do? Will I go back and look at their x-rays on their preps and their post-cementation x-rays? Yeah, I will. I don't mind. And if I see something wrong, I bring it up right away. Why? Well, those are called crucial conversations. And if you haven't read that book, it's a very, very important book to read. Because life is about crucial conversations. Life is about when things aren't going the way you want it to go, to attack that right then, to bring it up. And if you see something, say, hey, I noticed this margin. See there? And the doctor may be defensive and say, oh, gosh, I didn't see that, whatever. And I said, well, I'm certain you didn't, because I've had x-rays come through hygiene in the past that had an open margin. I went, who did this? And they go, oh, it was me. Crap, I've got to go fix it. Why? Because ultimately, we want to take great care of our patients. And ultimately, we want to do the best dentistry we can possibly do. Remember, there is no such thing as perfection in dentistry, but excellence is something that we all strive for. And if you skip the steps to excellence, then you don't get there. And then you're having to go back and redo work that was done. I can't tell you how many times I've read on there, we had to go back and redo hundreds of crowns and fillings that an associate did in my practice. Well, pull your head out of your butt and go look and see what they're doing. They're working on some of your patients. So, the whining just doesn't work here. The whining about having someone in your office, it's like you whining about your front desk. It's like you whining about your chairside assistants. Bottom line is, that's your problem. And so when I look at things, can I help this doc? Can I be a mentor and do it in a loving way that just says, hey, I've been there, because we all have. We've all been there. None of us started out until we got the reps, till we got everything going. Yeah, it is what it is. That's why I don't mind a dentist that's been practicing for 2 or 3 or 4 years, and maybe that has been beat up. But also I want to see what kind of dentistry are they doing? What do they like doing? What do they enjoy? You may find that, gosh, I love doing Invisalign. I love that aspect. Great. You're going to be our Invisalign guy, but I'm going to follow your workups, and I'm going to look at the cases that you're choosing. And I'm going to say, boy, these are great cases. And you know what? I'm probably going to learn about Invisalign from you as you get better and better and better. So these are the things that, whether it's crown and bridge, whether it's placing an implant. My nephew graduated this past year, and he is actually, he's been very involved in CE when he was in dental school and when he got out. And I'll be darned if he's not placing implants, if he's not producing 1,200 an hour, which is 3 times the national average. And I'm getting a chance, and I'm asking him, I'm kind of his mentor from afar, but I'm saying, send me the x-rays, send me some photos, send me some pictures. The work is beautiful, and I love seeing that. Now, if you say, well, why? Why do you want to see the pictures? Well, for me, it would be, I don't know, I'm just trying to help you, dude. That's it. I just want to help. And so the person with an ego that doesn't want people to look, that's also kind of a problem. That's one of those things where, gosh, I don't know. I want to work with my friends. I want to treat my friends. And if somebody has a problem with something with me, I'm A-okay with them coming and saying, hey, Bruce, you're sticking your head in the room, 9 times a day. I'd really, hey, I'm more than happy to show you the x-rays and everything else. And more than likely, I didn't realize I was doing that. But again, I want our patients to be taken care of at the highest level possible. So anyway, there's so much information out there about my associate did this, my associate did that. Well, if they're right out of school or very young, well, they're still in school as far as I'm concerned. And it's my job to help them and to be, I don't know, a mentor and instructor for them in a caring, loving way, and also in a way that allows them to be massively productive, great for the office, great for their home life, and great for their bank account. And so I point those things out because you just see so many complaints out there. But whose fault is it? Well, this is one of those where it's our fault. Can't whine about other people when you're the one that's hired them. So anyway, I hope this makes some sense. I hope you guys get something from it. Please send me questions about this because it'll stimulate conversation to bruce@productivedentist.com. I'm more than happy. In fact, some of our podcasts are totally around questions that are sent to me. Thank you again for voting us the #1 dental podcast in dentistry. And I look forward to next time. So thanks so much.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you subscribe. Pass it along to a friend. Give us a like on iTunes and Spotify, or drop me an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. Don't forget to check out other podcasts from the Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentistpodcast.com. Join me again next week for another episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.